Hello viewers, you are watching Focus on Brikama and I am Bintou Badjie. Today our guest is no other person but Mr. Ismaila Fadera, the President-elect of the University of the Gambia Students Union. And I am here today to ask him few questions about the university and what he encountered on his political career. Welcome Ismaila.
Thank you very much, Bintou. It's a pleasure to be here, Focus on Brikama. This is where it all started for Ismaila Fadera. It's a pleasure. Thank you.
Okay. I'll be asking you a few questions about the university. And the first question is, how do you started your political career at the UTG and what inspired you to join politics as an individual?
Thank you very much. Yes, I'm a 400 level development students major. I got enrolled in the university in 2022. You know, I could say my first semester, I've engaged in series of activities within the university. Okay. I could remember there is one of the biggest social research for the development students major. It is called the PSRA, and I participated in that social research that was held in Jara. It was my first activity in the University of the Gambia. So during that engagement, a lot of my seniors thought this guy is in fact in his third or is in his fourth year. So this is how my evolution in the University of the Gambia started. I could remember my first year or second year, if my memory serves me well, a team called Panacea in the School of Arts and Science, that is the school, the Social Sciences and Humanities Students Association. You know, basically, they all have, you know, political camps that exist camps within university. So they approached that I, you know, come as their presidential candidate for the 2023-2024 presidential elections, or let's say social elections. Okay. And as someone whom you know, I just don't like to rush things. I insisted that it's too early for me to get involved in UTG politics. What I need to do is to, you know, contribute my quota towards the political camp that, you know, reach out to me. And I could remember that year, you know, it was so difficult for them because they wanted me to be the president. I refused and I accept to be the campaign manager. Of Panacea. I could say I am one of the most successful campaign manager because the reason why I'm saying that is two of my candidates were disqualified. The presidential candidate was disqualified by the EC for not submitting his nomination paper on time, even though we contested it at JT, but we were not able to, you know, be successful with the case. And another one, the research minister, was, you know, qualified, interviewed by the EC, but unfortunately there was an incident that, you know, he was involved, and at the end of the day, the recommendation from the legislative body, you know, deemed it necessary that the boy would not participate in anything that has to do with politics. So 2 out of 11 candidates, meaning we went with 9 candidates. And guess what? 5 of those 9 candidates won. We were able to, you know, won positions like SG, auditor, the gender and health. We also won technical and logistic minister as well as sports. So, you know, from campaign manager, the following year, I have, you know, basically no choice. So
it's like from being a campaign manager,
yes,
you have focused on politics
more. And as a campaign manager, it gives me an opportunity to learn what the political training in UTG is all about. You understand? So from the campaign manager of 2023-2024, the following year, now I don't have any excuse.
No, basically, based on your explanations, it's like you have experience in politics before coming to UTG.
Everybody, like anybody who knows Ismaila Fadera will tell you Ismaila Fadera basically is a politician. I will not, I'm an unapologetic politician for that matter. Okay. You understand? Okay, but I built my political career before coming to the UTG.
Exactly.
So, but in UTG, it is this camp that reached out to me to be the presidential candidate, and I said no because I did not know anything that has to do with UTG politics.
Okay.
So I served as campaign manager of 2023-2024. The following year, 2024-2025, I announced my candidacy for presidency, and guess what? I went unopposed. And
why were you unopposed?
Okay, I was
different camps in your school.
Different camps, but
your opponent?
My opponent, who I should contest with, is a brother. But unfortunately, you need to understand that is one Abubakar Dabo. Is also from Bikama, basically. So what happened? The EC has electoral procedures. So they believe, my opponent, violated one of the electoral procedures. So I went unopposed. But guess what? I went unopposed, but I make sure I campaign for my, colleagues, and 11 of us won the position, and it has never happened in the history of SOSA. So basically, that's how I start leadership, and we were able to do some tremendous work as president of the Social Science and Humanities Students Association. This includes institutional capacity, where we introduced the first code of conduct. You and I know how toxic UTG politics is.
Exactly.
But hardly do you see SOSA executive engaging in anything that has to do with political toxicity within pages.
How sure are you? Because you as an individual,
yes,
like you said, UTG politics is so toxic. So you as an individual, how can you determine saying your SOSA people are not involved?
When I said my SOSA people, I mean the SOSA executives.
Oh, the SOSA executives.
The SOSA executive, and
not your supporters.
But not the students. Because the code of conduct serves as a guiding tool for the executives. So basically, there are fines that are attached to that. I don't say executive don't engage in exchange of words. It happens, but to see that toxicity within executive members, no. We introduced that one, and we were also able to establish the advisory board. The advisory board serves as a watchdog between the students and the executive council, and we have some prominent, prominent former executive members of SOSA in that committee. Names like Kemo Conte, who is now a lecturer.
Former president.
Yeah, former president of the UTG Students Union. Bintou Badjie serves as the vice president of SOSA. You also have Omar S.K. Jammeh, finance minister, and Lamin Juara. Lamin Juara is the, if my memory serves me well, is the second or third best graduating students of the 16th cohort, 16th convocation. He is currently a lecturer at the School of Arts and Science. So those are the individuals that are there. But it's not only about institutional capacity. We've also registered some amazing achievements. We introduced the first ever print, we secured a printer and a photocopying machine from Vision Development Bank, from Vision Development Foundation.
Yeah, I saw those photocopying machines in school.
Yeah.
But I think you are there for students. Why are you?
Those are okay. Thank you very much. Those are campaign promises that we made. When I was campaigning, I could say students were in fact asking me about printer. I could tell you, Bintou, there was a day I was sent away from class because of submitting my assignment late. Students don't deserve that, and as leaders, I believe we could leverage our connections to ensure that we're able to, secure those printers. So that is why, with my secretary, who Malamin Demba has been, very supportive, we were able to secure a printer and a photocopy machine from Vision Development Foundation, thanks to Momodou Dabo. But we did not only stop there. We were also able to secure 100,000 scholarship package at Yona Islamic Microfinance. And we were also able to move the scholarship, membership due SOSA used to collect $750 every year, membership due. Under my tenure, we collected $91,000.
Student? Oh,
$750. When I say $750, I mean 15 people only paid membership due.
Only 15 people?
Only 15 people before my tenure. Only 15 people. That is like $750. Under my tenure, we were able to, do what we call stakeholder engagement, where we involve our dean and our faculty officer, and we were able to have a good relationship with them. Today, I could tell you that SOSA collected $91,000 on membership due under my tenure. And we were able to, we inherited a council coffers of $34,000 and we moved it to $217,000 in 10 months. So basically, if people are talking about Ismaila Fadera, the performance of Ismaila Fadera in the university could be gauged for the past 10 months. And I am not surprised seeing university students electing me as the president of the 24th Executive Council. Basically, this is the evolution of Ismaila Fadera as far as UTG politics is concerned, in short.
All right, that's so inspiring, Ismaila. And do you face challenges as the then president from students? Because obviously you are there to serve them.
Yes.
What are the major challenges you face?
Challenges, we are bound to face challenges.
As leaders,
As
right?
leaders. As my mom will always say, an unborn child that fears criticism shall never be born. But as leaders, you should, be committed to the promises that you made to the students.
Exactly.
Like I always remind myself, I'm a team player. I believe in teamwork. And any challenge that you are bound to face, when you are united as team, you can achieve greater goals. And that is basically the principles that I always remind myself. And, kudos to my executive. They have been, so supportive in the execution.
Were they united also?
Well, if we are not united, we won't be able to achieve this.
Because sometimes it's normal. You'll see people in the same executive. You are expected to do major things to students, but unity is not there. So you as the president, you make sure your executive members are all united to work towards the interests of your students.
That's important. And that is why I said, having a full mandate, I don't have any chance to say, okay, there is someone sabotaging me. No, all of us come from the same camp. If I fail to deliver, students would use stick on me and said, hey, Ismaila Fadera, we give you an absolute mandate. Absolute mandate in the sense that all your entire executive council wins the various positions that they contested for. And that has been a guiding principle for me.
All right. And now that you are the president-elect, what are your policies? Well,
thank you very much. Section 12 of the UTG Students Union Constitution 2021 as amended calls for the president to be the embodiment of the union. I propose 6 policies. I campaign on 6 policies, from class to class, from school to school, from bantaba to bantaba, cafeteria to cafeteria.
Yeah.
And basically it was 6 policies. And these policies includes the education fund program, where we intend to increase the scholarship package from 50 students. Currently under the dynamic leadership of Mohamed Galan, they were able to increase it from 50 students to 150 students. That is the 40% scholarship package. Often you see university students coming online seeking donations or seeking support in terms of tuition fee is concerned. But as union that supports students, or as union that stands to represent the interests of the students, we should be able to at least help those students that fall on that category. As president of the Social Science and Humanities Students Association, we were able to secure 100,000 scholarship package at Yona Islamic Microfinance.
But one thing I want to understand about this scholarship issue, how do you give it to students?
Thank you very much.
And how do students apply for the scholarships? Do you just go look at them and say, if you want scholarship, come? Or is there any qualification towards that scholarship?
It doesn't work like that.
But do you think giving 40% is not too small? You should at least increase it now to 60%.
60%.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't refute that. Increasing it to 60% is not a problem.
Do we expect that from
Listen, hopefully, stakeholders are listening.
you?
And
More than 60.
Stakeholders are listening.
Because we are expecting more from you.
Stakeholders are listening, and I only hope and pray when we knock on their doors, they should be able to at least help us. But okay, now let's put it this way. Instead of increasing it from 40% to 60%, how about we increase the scholarship capacity from 150 students to 300 students? What do we mean by 40%? There is what we call flexible payment. With $7,500, you are capable of registering your courses. So before we increase the scholarship package to 60%, how about we increase the capacity where more students will benefit from it? That's what I believe in.
Yeah.
Okay, and you also talk on fairness and accountability or transparency, or how are we going to select the students. As president of the Social Science and Humanities Students Association, when the $100,000 was secured from Yona Islamic Microfinance, Bintou, I rescued myself from the committee. You know, the individuals who were in the committee is the vice president of the association, who serve as the chairperson of all task force committee that will be set up by the council. And we also have faculty officer. Our faculty officer was also a member of the panel, and in fact the advisory body have 2 members in the committee. So criteria were set, and students who meet the requirements were given the scholarship package. And that is how it is also done in the SU. Institutional memories will tell you that the SU, have been conducting interviews where students, reach out, and at the end of the day, they are interviewed. So it is based on the recommendation set up by the committee. Students will be selected, and the 40% will be paid. Yeah.
That's interesting.
So education phone program is one of them. And then the second thing is I want to introduce what we call the first reintroduction of the UTG donor conference.
Doesn't mean once you benefit from the scholarship, you can't come back again to request for another scholarship.
Well, it is the committee that will decide on that.
But you as the president, I think you are above the committee.
The president secures, and the committee decides. The committee decides what to do. So, but I believe anybody who meets the requirement should not be denied the scholarship. So the second policy is what we call the reintroduction of UTG donor conference. This reintroduction of the UTG donor conference was once introduced by an alliance finance minister in the name of Koka. He was the one who introduced.
When was it introduced?
It was introduced by the 19th Executive Council. Yeah, meaning the 2019, something like that. He was the one who introduced it. Now I want to bring it back because it will interest you to know that if you look at the current finance report presented by the union, $2.6 million was raised through donations. Wow. So the donor conference is not the main goal of donor conference. Is not only about donations, but it is also an opportunity, or it's also an avenue where networking and partnership could be discussed. It will interest you to know that we have so many amazing Gambians who are always ready to support. But if we don't knock on their doors, hardly will you see them chipping in. So that is what I want to unlock. That barrier between UTG and those institutions is what I want to, clear, so that institution could come and support. That is the donor conference. The third thing is the establishment of the UTG think tank center. What do I mean by think tank center? Think tank center is going to be sort of an idea hub. What do I mean by idea hub? So many amazing presidents exist within the UTG.
Yeah.
In different schools. But to what capacity is the university benefiting from those individuals? Today, if you go to the SU office, some of these presidents, I believe we could in fact have a portion from the office where a citation or where an achievement board should be for them, so that student leaders could reflect their mind on some of these things, some of them. For example, when it comes to climate activists in the world, my big sister Fatou Jeng is doing an amazing job in the world.
Fatou Jeng, you mean the activist?
No, when I say Fatou Jeng, this Fatou Jeng, yeah, Fatou Jeng served as the president of the union. You understand? And she is currently working with the UN climate, she's a climate activist working with the UN, and it's not only about them. You have Ansumana are all there. Ansumana is currently in US. Okay, but even within the spheres of the Gambia, there are presidents that they are doing amazingly well. Nyaninga Manjang is one of them. Kemo Konde is one of them. Lagami is one of them. But even currently, the outgoing president, Mamen Galan, he has done amazing job as far as the union is concerned. So should we allow the lives of Mamen Galan to escape us without, tapping on their expertise? That is one thing that I want to establish. But then the establishment of the think tank center is not only going to be limited to former president. Each of the sub-association in the university, like the 12 faculty-based association that we have, we should be able to have their presidents in, so that ideas that affects their school could be discussed. And at the end of the day,
as an individual, you are there to serve the entire school.
Exactly.
But you will not know the problems that the school faces.
Yes. So, and fourth on my policy list is internship and career development. Internship opportunity is something that UTG students always want to have. I was in my office. I was in my office the other day when a student walked to me and gave me $500. Bintou.
For what?
$500. I was like, what is this for? And she said, you will not remember, but your council was able to secure 14 internship opportunities for us at Access Bank. And this $500 is the stipend that we receive from we were paid. I did not ask how much they are paid, but she gave me $500. That $500 was a whole lunch box, a week lunch box for that matter. And as I'm speaking to you, 2 students are currently in Nigeria doing their internship training. So you see,
from which school?
First student from the Social Science and Humanities Students Association, currently in Nigeria.
That was under
my leadership. Yes. So we should be able to at least unlock internship opportunities for social students. There are a lot of UTG alumni doing amazingly well in either private sectors, either government institutions. We should be able to, they should be able to secure internship opportunities for UTG students. And also, fifth on my policy is where you will look at partnership and cooperation. Partnership is very important, and focus on Brikama is also an institution that is doing amazingly well in terms of community development, or in terms of inspiring people to know what is happening in Brikama. Maybe we could partner with Focus on Brikama to ensure that the activities that we are going to do in the university could be out for public to see. So we want to do that. Currently, under the dynamic leadership of Mamen Galan, they were able to secure some partnership, and if we come, we are going to strengthen those partnerships. If need be, secure more partnership for the union. That is one thing that I also want to achieve. Today, if you go to Fadera, it is disheartening. You will see our brothers and sisters standing on that harsh weather condition. There is no sitting arrangement at the bus stop. I'm glad that tertiary and higher education trust fund have already have a proposal where they intend to establish sitting areas across the various bus stops. So that is one thing that I want to achieve under my leadership.
You mentioned something very important here, the transportation aspect. And I
know Bintou is going to ask me transportation.
Because we are going through a lot when it comes to this transportation issue.
Most definitely.
So you partnering, because I believe the university only partners with GTGSU. So you as the president, because GTGSU will complain that the university are owing them a lot of money. So what are other institutions that you're going to partner with that are going to help you in order to secure transportation? Like you as the president in the university, if you help for the transportation, like your name, everybody will be like, you are the best, or you have done something that will ease.
Most certainly. But one thing is clear is to get the record straight. I don't think university is owing GTSC. I don't think university is owing GTSC.
But why are people saying,
so that is where we need to establish the issue of transportation is complex. Complex in the sense that it is GTSC that signs agreement with Ministry of Higher Education. And the Ministry of Higher Education is to pay GTSC $36 million, while GTSC is going to supply 20 buses to the University of the Gambia. That is the agreement. That is the agreement. So meaning, even UTG management is not even involved in the issue of transportation. But one thing students should also understand is, we are paying $10. The government is paying $15. You understand? Okay. So now the agreement says 20 buses. As a development student major, there is what we call data-driven advocacy. We must be able, as students, I believe we must be able to use data in order to solve issues, Bintou. Today, if you go to the bus stop, count the number of mini buses that GTSC continue to send to us in Faraba. Is the ministry aware that GTSC is sending mini buses that can carry only 29 to 35 people? Anytime you are at the bus stop and you see big buses coming, I think we all smile.
Yeah.
We all smile. We all smile with the beautiful chicks out saying, okay, you know what? This bus is capable of carrying all students. Yeah. What I am now saying is, under my leadership, I will engage the stakeholders to ensure that if the agreement says 20 buses, let them supply big buses for us. Because the capacity in Faraba is increasing on a daily basis. When we started Faraba, initially it was only 4 schools that were coming. It was agriculture, SAS, Edusa, and BPA. Now, how many schools do we have? We also have Faculty of Law coming. We have journalism coming. And we also have ITCA students there. So you see, the number is increasing on a semesterly basis. But I believe in continuation. My predecessors, let me use that word. Okay? My predecessors, that is the 23rd Executive Council, have done amazingly well as far as engaging the stakeholders are concerned. Because 3 weeks ago or a month ago, if you follow the headline, it will tell you that the Ministry of Higher Education invited the private sector. When I say private sector, who are the private sector? Gambia Transport Union. And I only hope and pray my own brother Umar Sise, the president of Gambia Transport Union, is listening or is going to watch this interview. Mr. President, please, whatever discussion you have with Mohas, please try and fast track it and come to Faraba so that private sectors could also utilize the opportunity in Faraba so that the issue of transportation we continue to be a havoc for UTG students could be solved.
But others will say the transportation issue is like the government is helping students, but it's not something that it's a promise to students that transportation is a must. Government should do transportation to ease every student going to Faraba.
Yeah.
It's like they are helping students. But to me, Faraba students deserve to.
I'm not going to say they are helping students, even though they keep on saying
responsibility.
Even though they keep on saying is a privilege.
Yeah.
It's a privilege, yes, but it's also their responsibility.
Exactly.
It's also their responsibility to ensure that students continue to learn in a conducive environment. Conducive environment does not only mean, building, beautiful classrooms or constructing, amazing structures. You understand? But conducive environment, all the bosses have to do. Because today, if you have tests in Faraba, and it's 8:30, you either wake up at 5 a.m. or you wake up at 4:30 a.m. And recently we are seeing, we are hearing news everywhere that students being attacked at the various bus stops. So that is why I said it is
classes to move to either 9 or 10.
With that, you also have to look at the credit hours, because the credit hours is also very important. But what we need to do is to engage the stakeholders. Probably what we can do is the stakeholder engagement we will be having with the various security sectors. We could in fact tell them that we have bus stops, because sometimes students are not attacked from their companies, either at the bus stop or let's say when they are approaching bus stop. But then with concerted efforts, we should be able to make efforts on that. It's something that's unacceptable, and I believe UTG students deserve better as far as that is concerned.
All right. And as the president of UDP Students Wing, when Ismaila Fadera, Ismaila Fadera as the real supporter of the United Democratic Party.
Yes.
And I believe UTG students didn't see that aspect of voting you as a UDP supporter. They see you as a university student doing great and achieving a lot for students. So you being the UDP the UDP student wing president, and also the president of Students Union of UTG. How do you balance this?
Well, thank you very much. This question is important, and I like that it is, I've done quite a few interviews since I became president of the Students Wing.
Politics is tough.
You understand? So, but I believe we should be able to, remove, or we should be able to put boundaries, between national politics and students' politics. I serve as president of the Social Science and Humanities Students Association.
But that is different.
Please, I'm coming, allow me. SOSA is one of the biggest sub-associations in the University of the Gambia. And students have seen the achievements that was registered under my name. You understand? But like I said, we should be able to draw a boundary line between partisan politics or national politics and students' politics. I am the elected president of the UTG Students Union, not elected president of the UDP Students Wing in the university. So the separation line is drawn. That's where I will stop that.
And some students allege that you were elected because of fame and not capability. What are your response to those statements? Because I believe as a president, you should be ready to hear all sorts of critics from students.
Well, especially I have had a lot as far as this elections is concerned. I've had people telling students that the election is not about track record, the election is not about achievement, the election is not about policies, the election is about solutions. I have had all that. You understand? But one thing is important. Sitting in this in this studio is the Youth of the Year 2023, the Youth Impact Award winner 2024, the Youth Ambassador 2025. And all that happened as student of the University of the Gambia.
And not president of the UDP student.
All these awards were given to me as a full-time student of the University of the Gambia. So if it is about fame, like, okay, people will say Ismaila Fadera is fame, but I don't see myself as a famous person. I see myself as, that young person who is yearning to make impact in the country. Yes, that's how I see myself. So if they are saying I, won election through fame, the convention video is there for students to see. The convention gives students an opportunity to listen to the policies of various candidates. If I am fame, or if it was fame that makes me win the election, the convention video is there where I convince the student. But it's not only about convention video, but the class-to-class campaign. My campaign or our campaign was centered on policies and program for the students. It was not centered on what Ismaila Fadera is able to do outside the university. If I want to sit here in this studio to explain to outsiders what I have done, we will start counting it probably until tomorrow. We will not finish. I have done a lot. You understand? As far as community work or impact in the Gambia is concerned. But my election in UTG, is determined by the work that I have done for them for the past 10 months.
That's impressive. And are there plans to expand practical learning, internship, and industry partnership? I believe you mentioned that previously, but you were only doing that for SOSA, and now is a university. How do you intend to do
practicals are important, and we have an aspiring journalist sitting here. If we are to knock on institutions' doors, we should be able to knock on institutions that takes practical students. Like today, how many students are involved in photojournalism in JSA? How many students are practicing nursing at the School of Nursing? We have our brothers and sisters in Unigamsa. We have our brothers and sisters in the School of Arts and Science. Not forgetting the Science Students Association, where you have the biologists, where you have students learning biology, chemistry, physics, you name them. Today the valedictorian of the 18th convocation is a mathematics major. So as president of the as president of the 24th executive group, my council and I have a responsibility to ensure that we knock on the doors to have practical internship that will add to the values of the university. And I hope and pray the director of student affairs would be helpful in the stakeholder engagement that we will be doing. I have some amazing ministers that are going to come. My secretary,
well connected.
I'm not saying, I'm not going to say I'm well connected, okay. But I have individuals that are coming in the council. The secretary general is a debater. You understand? He's a law student. You understand? The ICM is a certified Gambian journalist. You understand? Okay, Ibrahim Mbai, you name them. My finance minister, you have Musa Badjie. Sports, you have Cherno MB Jalo. Welfare, you have Asia Tujalo. I can go on and name them. So teamwork, UTG students will definitely see the 24th Executive Council and the work that we are going to do for the next 12 months.
So they will see the 24th Executive Council as a successful executive. Well,
let them wait for the opportunities that are going to go, but they will have a very proactive council. That I can tell you that.
But don't you think the School of Journalism deserves to have a studio in order to do their practicals?
Most definitely.
But why?
Okay,
now they knock on the doors of the VC, the president have to engage the school management to help them get that.
So as leadership, we should be able to recognize each other's efforts. I know my predecessors have tried their best, but you also need to understand that as students, we also have our limitations. As students leaders, we have our limitations. Those limitations, we should be able to use good negotiation skills in order to be able to remove certain barriers. There are a lot of bureaucracies that are involved when it comes to things like this, because in fact as students, we are not in fact allowed to mount anything on the wall You know, so all these things are rules and regulations that are set. But then, as representative of the students at the governing council, some of these things could be, you know, discussed during the governing council meeting, and we could have breakthroughs on them. That is why I said you will have a very proactive president.
That's a promise, right, to the university students?
To the university students, I can tell anybody who I'm action-oriented. I'm an action-oriented man.
Okay.
You will have a very proactive council under my leadership.
Okay. And where do you see UTG after your service as president?
Well, institutional growth, council growth is where I see myself. Today, the outgoing council is leaving $3.6 million is in the account. 50 students to 150 students. Today, the Persons with Disability Bill has been assented by the president. You know, they did well. They did great. It's just a matter of us picking from where they stop. Also do our quotas, because leadership is all about, you know, leadership is all about, you know, continuity in the sense that where this one stops is where the one begins, you know. And I am someone whom, you know, I don't believe in criticism. I believe in actions. I don't have
you improve more on your work.
Yeah, like what I mean by criticism is, as a president, I don't have to be, you know, criticizing what my predecessors do, but instead what I can bring on the table. That's what I am. That's what I'm interested in.
That's very good. And the last thing is, what happened at the Congress? What was the cause of that fight?
Well,
why were you taken for questioning at the police?
Thank you very much. So the matter is before the police, and any student who is interested in the case should at least refer themselves back to the statement that was issued by the PIU officer in the name of Jallo. You understand? It is something that's unfortunate.
It's unfortunate.
Unfortunate in the sense that I believe no students, you know, deserve to be, you know, assaulted. You know, the level and manner in which the police have, you know, handled the situation is very professional. And the guy who was involved, that is Salimina Makalo, is a brother. You understand? I have utmost respect, you know, for him, you know, and on behalf of the entire UTG students, I am saying on record that what happened to him, it's unfortunate, and what the level and manner in which the police handled the case is sufficient. It's professional. People who are saying Ismaila Fadera is involved in it.
All over the news.
Yeah, okay. So people who are saying people who are saying Ismaila,
it's too early for that.
People who are saying Ismaila Fadera is involved, the records are there to speak for Ismaila Fadera, and that is, you know, where I will stop. What lies ahead of us for the next 12 months is to be united and accept that there will be challenges that will come, and those challenges could only, you know, make us strong for the work that lies ahead of us.
But as you can see, politics in university is so toxic, and you know this fight won't stop here. So you, as the president, because tomorrow I believe you are coming to swear in as the president of the UTG Students Union, I think you should emphasize more to students that politics is not about hatred or you being divided. Right?
Wait for my speech tomorrow. Wait for my speech tomorrow. Today I had a very successful meeting. It's called the internal handing over. I had a very important meeting with my team. The students serve as reflection. Leaders serve as reflections of the students. You understand? If we are united as leaders, the people, our followers, would be united. You understand? And I want to put this on records that for the next 12 months. It is the 24th Executive Council is a family. We are united.
Even though you are all from.
We are united for one. We are united for one purpose, and that purpose is the motto of the union should be a guiding principle for all of us. And as the president, who serves as an embodiment of the students' union, I should be able to lead by example. Understand? And I want students to hold me accountable on what I am saying on this studio. We are going to be united, and we will ensure that the work that we are going to do represents the best interests of the students. Students' welfare is priority, and it will not be compromised under my leadership.
And one thing, when it comes to the funds of the UTG, people expect the council to be very transparent and be held accountable. How do you see your members, your council?
Well, we are guided by the Constitution.
Because sometimes things are done behind. Students are not even aware what is happening with the funds. Section 12,
part of the clauses in Section 12 says that president should not, the council should not withdraw, I think 70,000 or more, 75,000 or more. I forgot the figure, but I would have to check on. But I think it's somewhere around that, $70,000 to $75,000 above. We have to defend it at the LB.
The LB defend.
Yeah, defend in the sense that you have to face the legislative body and explain how you're going to spend that money. So finance minister is there, who serve as the watchdog for all financial spending. President is a signatory, secretary is a signatory. You understand? But you also have an auditor, and I believe as students they have seen the policies presented by the auditor. Isaba proposed a policy that is called public audit system. What did she mean by public audit system? For the very first time, that students are going to be given an opportunity to, have first-hand the performance of every single executive member. As students, the audit report is only presented at Congress. You understand? Okay? But under the dynamic leadership of Isaba, she is saying that era is done and dusted in UTG.
Wow.
Every single student will know the performance of Ismaila Fadera and the conduct of Ismaila Fadera. That is transparency, Bintou.
So it's like there is a difference between the other executive members and Ismaila Fadera.
Leadership.
Because you said a lot here that is different from
leadership is all about it's a continuation. The world keeps changing, policies keep,
students expect
policies, the policies that was adaptive, the policies that were doable in Nyaninka's time, may not fit in this current generation.
Okay.
Like you said, every student is faced with transportation challenge. Understand? So you see why leadership is all about continuation, and that is why we have to bring in policies that are inclusive, bring policies that are sustainable, so that at the end of the day, the policies that we are going to have could serve the future generations.
In the university? That's impressive. Oh, wrap it up. Sorry. Alright, one last question, Ismaila. I'm still concerned about the unity because you made mention of the executive being united, but I know it's going to be a very big challenge for you, for students to unite, because not every student voted for you as the president, but majority did. So I think it's very important as the president always talking to your supporters? Because sometimes you as leaders, you are not aware of things that are happening behind us, but your supporters keep using foul words on their opponents, and the opponents will also provoke them. How do you tend to end this kind of politics in?
Well, it all started, like I said, Bintou, it all started with the type of leadership that, if the type of leaders we put in place, like I said, the people that I am going to work with, in one way or the other, they are all my brothers and sisters. We are the ones that do the same cause together. You know, Cherno MB Jalo is like a brother to me. Anytime we see each other in campus, we exchange handshake. You know, I mean, you have Asia Jalo, you have Aliu Jalo, you have Ibrahim Suso, you know, okay, you have Musa Badjie. We are going to work hand in glove to ensure that we set good example for students. And if students are to be united with the leaders that they have in place, then I'm saying categorically out that the 24th Executive Council will be united for one purpose, and that is seeing students' welfare first.
Thank you so much, Ismaila. This brings us to the end of the interview, and thank you for coming here and making everything clear for students to understand what leadership is all about. I'm wishing you all the best in your presidency.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here. Like I said, focus on Brikama is where it all started for Ismaila Fadera, and you know, I'm using this opportunity to appreciate all the brains, you know, brave men and women behind this, you know, amazing platform. Continue bringing us inspiring conversations like this. You know, there are a lot of people making impacts in the various fields. Bring them on board. Let's hear from them. And this is not going to be the last time where we will come. Probably maybe in the first 100 days of my tenure in UTG, we can come back here and say, Ismaila, this is what you said, this is what you said. So, you know,
politicians, I'm
happy
when you're not going to fulfill all.
Yes.
But I am impressed on your policies, and I believe you are going to do more.
I'm happy with the growth that I have seen, and wishing you all the best
Thank you.
in your future endeavors. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, and thank you for